Hey guys, my name is Max Mears, and today I'm talking through the Rust PvP changes that have been applied to the staging branch. We're going to be going through each weapon individually, but I would like to remind you that everything you see here is subject to change, as Shadowfrax would say. If you like to just see a specific weapon, obviously there are going to be chapters down below. I would, however, of course, recommend you to watch this entire video, as who knows, you may be going into the next patch with a new favorite weapon. This is not the regular style of content that I make, but I don't want to dilly-dally. So as a final footnote before we enter this endeavor, there are a few things that I like about this update, but there are a lot of things I do not like about this update. I've spent plenty of time on UKN servers perfecting my aim, so obviously to me this is a little bit of an annoying update. However, in the same breath, I can see the good side, making the game a lot more accessible for people. And no, I don't think this will kill the game. If every single player with 10k hours on a UKN server decides to quit tomorrow, it's not really going to affect how I play whatsoever.
Yeah, come on, mama told me one day I'ma grow up big and I'ma be a king, and my papa told me it's okay to sit where shit hurts, don't forget your dreams cause they'll get you through this.
So starting us off, I need to mention two things. First of all, in games, there is something called TTK, which is time to kill. Essentially, it's how long it takes for you to kill an opponent. In Rust, the TTK has always been quite low. Generally, the more gear you have, the longer it takes to kill you. But I will say, I genuinely believe the TTK has actually gone down. People are going to be dying even faster than they already have, which is a bad thing. It was already hard enough to have a fight in Rust that lasted more than about 2 seconds. And now it looks like we're never going to have proper fights anymore. I genuinely believe that the PvP state that we're going to be in is going to be a more instantaneous death than ever before. And secondly, of course, the gun sounds. The gun sounds in this game have just got 10 times worse than they ever were. I'm genuinely disappointed with the sound settings they went for. But you know what? Maybe these are just placeholders and they're just going to use the original ones instead. Or maybe they have other ones planned and this is all just a big elaborate prank. But anyway, let's go first with old reliable. The AK-47. Jesus Christ. Bruh, this is hard. I hate how there's no hit marker when you get a headshot. I'll show you what I mean, look. But body hit, right? I wish they made these white things come in, but in red for a headshot. Guys, I think we're back to tap firing again, honestly. Crouching makes a difference. Crouching makes a difference. So what is there to say about the AK? Obviously, the way the recoil works has been completely changed, and later on you will be able to see the recoil UI. As with all the other guns, there is no learnable pattern today, so you've got like a random aim cone, which means all the bullets will hit in a general area, and the further away you are, the more likely you are to miss. Just to touch on that note quickly, this does add an element of randomness to the game. It means you might get lucky and double headshot a guy really far away with the first 2 bullets, but luck runs out, guys. If you're consistently better in fights, you will not get consistently beaten. The AK is the same gun it's always been. It's a high damage powerhouse, and for what it is, I would consider the AK fairly accurate, and it does have one of the highest damage points in the game, and it will always be reliable, if a little bit more inaccurate than it has been in the past. The LR sounds horrible. It does, doesn't it? I'm wondering if maybe they should have different sounds depending on the attachments of the gun. Like if you've got a muzzle brake or a muzzle boost, it adjusts the sound of the gun. It sounds like an airsoft gun. Right, okay. Let's try and hit some stuff with this. What, 50 meters? Yeah. Oh my god. LR beats AK now, maybe? It sounds like a gas-powered airsoft rifle. I'm serious. Can you quick burst to maintain accuracy? I don't even need to. Because it's a random cone, there's no pattern. I don't think you need to like random, like, this is with no attachments. The LR. In a world where you can only find 2 kinds of assault rifles, the LR is generally the most accurate of the 2. In the past, I've always ran the LR with a 4x and a laser sight. This has kind of gone out the window. Whether this is intentional or not, personally, I've found this gun nigh impossible to use accurately at anything over about 120 meters. In the past, the LR 4x was the spray and pray gun from afar. I like that I can't cross map people, and I should probably carry a bolty as well. The LR's in a very good position. It's more accurate than the AK, its fire rate is higher, but its damage is lower. Overall, it's a relatively similar gun, and it almost comes down to preference, which you prefer. But the general consensus is more damage is better. But I do think we're going to see a lot more people using the LR this wipe, but not with a 4X. Right. What the hell is this thing? Look at that iron sight, bro. It's like the tiniest little dot. Holy crap. And you know what I like the most about this gun? It belongs. It belongs in Rust. This is a put together, you know, someone's clearly found most of a gun, got some fat spring, a doorknob handle, botched it all together. There's no ammo box. He found an old lunchbox, using that as like the ammo reload thing. This gun belongs in the game. A lot of guns in Rust don't belong. They don't. Look, example. Look at this, right? It's sort of teetering on the edge of some professional, but it's got the door hinges and stuff, right? Then you got this thing. Straight off the factory line, brand new. Nothing but clean, you know, even the Tommy, look, it's been like repaired, you know, at least it's been repaired. Someone's found it, like the wooden handles rotted off or something. And like even the AK to some extent, you know, it looks like someone's kind of put it together. There's like a paddle at the back there. Like, it's not quite, but like it looks like someone's found a bit of an AK, repaired it, put it back together. And then you got the SAR, which is just absolutely just perfection of a gun. What? What? Why does it sound like an M2 all of a sudden? So apart from this gun sounding exactly like an M249 whenever you add a muzzle brake, it is for all intents and purposes the poor man's M249. The damage, fire rate and range are all about 15% lower than on the M2, but the recoil and fire rate are identical. Obviously the magazine is smaller, but if you need 60 bullets to kill a couple of guys, like, you're clearly doing something wrong. I don't know how this gun is going to be implemented into the game yet. It doesn't seem to be craftable, but we just don't know. I assume you get it from crates, and perhaps the M249 is going to be more difficult to get. But this is an absolutely gorgeous gun. I love everything about this. I'm so happy they're adding things like this. I wouldn't even be sad if they removed the M249 altogether, as I genuinely believe we need more weapons in this game that look like they belong in this game. Rust is a post-apocalyptic survival game. We need bits and bobs that are rusted and botched together, welded clearly and obviously, not pretty looking LRs, M39s, M92s and MP5s. I hate the crosshair. I just look so stupid. It's not just me, I think it's so in the way. Right, anyway, M249, pretty standard gun. I mean, they've literally removed the recoil off it altogether. Added a bit more bullet and accuracy. This is the only 5.56 gun we haven't tried out yet. SAR has been a staple in Rust for a long time, right? SAR is a... Why does it sound like a freaking... What the hell was that? Did you hear that? You know what it sounds like? You know when you go to the circus and you have to shoot those, you know those little dart guns that shoot these tiny little metal beads or whatever they are? It's not even like a, not even like a rifle. Is it an air rifle? Why does it sound like an air rifle? Oh god. I might actually start running SAR Hollow. I'm not even joking. Now, genuine upset aside for how the new gun sounds, the SAR has probably been, and still is, one of the most used guns in Rust. Every single player who starts playing Rust, to get down the tier 2, to get to a SAR, maybe a Tommy, that's kind of what they use. They treasure the AKs they bring home, and the MP5, they struggle way too much with the horizontal recoil. With guns being a lot more tap fiery, I'm seriously seeing the return of the SAR. With MP5s and SMGs in general becoming a lot more standard with more experienced players, SARs have taken a back seat, and I'm seriously anticipating a return. We're going to see people using attachments on SARs. I'd even say I would use a SAR over an AK. If I had to spray and I couldn't just tap fire, I'd probably hit more shots like 100 plus meters with a SAR tap firing than I would spraying with an AK. That's not a gripe against the AK. If anything, I haven't practiced much with it yet. But the SAR is genuinely gonna be a lot more active. And if they could just change the sound sucks. I would love to use the SAR. Now anyway, onto the SMGs. Holy crap, what did they do to the MP5? They've added this like tinny, like weak, pathetic noise to all the guns, and they sound so... It just sounds like an airsoft. I could get my airsoft rifle out right now. If I was in the street, right, coming home, and I heard this, I wouldn't even think it was a gun. I would think it's a jackhammer or something that's broken. Like, I've literally got a pack of after eights here. And this sounds more threatening. All right, I could easily kill someone at 25. Let's try and 50. I mean, that's even not hard. Yeah, no problem. Okay. The 75 meter mark is where it starts to get a bit hard. This was the strongest SMG, and it still is the strongest SMG. There's a reason it's the only one on the tier 3 workbench. The grouping on this gun is incredibly good. Obviously, 9mm bullets drop off very hard at range, but I think we're gonna see the MP5 just as much as we always have. There's definitely no way you're gonna be beaming as accurately as, you know, Warrior used to, but this is gonna be a good gun for close to medium range, and I wouldn't be surprised to see people trying to spray at range with it as well. My boy! What have they done to him? Oh no. Oh, okay. We still have something. Oh, it just sounds so bad. This sounds like... This sounds more silenced and muffled than the Tommy with a silencer on it. Are you hearing this? What is going on? Mate, night and day as well. It's not like a slight difference, a night and day. It's a suppressor. I know it's a suppressor, not a silencer, okay? Thompson was probably my favorite SMG. I would even put it above the MP5, and here's why. A, getting a tier 3 day 1 is an absolute pain in the ass, and it's quite easy to get a Tommy and repair it and, you know, research it. Obviously, I would always take an MP5 over a Tommy, but guys, they have destroyed the Thompson. It is literally unusable over about 75 meters. Whether you're tap firing or not, it is so hard to use now at any sort of range, which is what submachine guns are for. You know, submachine guns are for close-up combat, but I mean, this thing is unusable. It used to be much better with a hollow sight. Now there is, I mean, I don't even know if there's a way of saving this gun. It is too difficult to use, and I probably won't be using it at all anymore unless I'm fighting very close up. Okay, right. Okay, this will start off as a prank, and I might actually use it. But I'll be honest, of all the gun changes, this is the least bad noise. But SMG sounds more threatening than Tommy. It literally does. I can't hit a bullet. wait. Oh my god! This is some of the most hit markers I've hit so far with an SMG. They've mixed up the gun noises. This is the LMG. Dude, I might start using the SMG. I'm not even joking. I hated it up until today. It might actually be good. Last but not least, I want to talk about the SMG now. I would talk about all the guns in general, but there's not really much to say about everything else. The pistols have had minor tweaks. Basically, it's more of a PvP overhaul as a whole, but I'll mention that at the end. The SMG is probably better than the Thompson now. I've always ranked the SMGs MP5, Tommy, SMG. But I think now I would put them MP5, SMG, and then Tommy. First of all, you probably noticed me using muzzle brake and muzzle boost quite a lot throughout this video. These attachments rarely get used. I genuinely think they are going to see a bit of a comeback. The SMG is a incredibly weak weapon at range. The damage is very low. But with the right attachments, this gun is definitely filling the role that the Tommy used to have. The close to medium range beast that the Tommy was is definitely now the SMG's domain. I've never been a fan of the SMG, but this is not a bad gun, and with its incredible fire rate, I'm going to be taking it out of the house early on without hesitation, because I have no fear that I can accurately spray someone down with this thing without a second's thought. I mean, all of the gear. So yes, I'm dead. Yo, that was insane. As a final note, or a conclusion, if you will, from me, about this update as a whole, again, this style of content is absolutely not my forte. I'm good at giving my opinion. That's why I stream, and definitely check me out over there as often as you can. Games can't stagnate. Change, whether it's for good or for worse, has to happen for a game to move forward. Now, Facepuncher's taken a big risk by doing such a huge update. I would question with some of the changes whether they actually play the game or not, or if they're just sort of replying to what people generally complain about. In my experience, a lot of the things I complain about but don't actually want changed. And you can't just have change for the sake of change. The purpose of this change is to equalize the PvP playing field, essentially eliminate the hierarchy of the 8,000, 10,000 hour players who dominate PvP and make it difficult for people to start playing the game. Anyone who has a hard time playing Rust plays in a group, and they do fine. Whether they win fights or not, they go out, they farm, they get everything they need, and they offline everyone. That is the culture of the game. If there is something that needs addressing, it is the game culture. I've said in the past that potentially having TCs that can monitor activity in the base, and after a certain amount of time, the walls, quote unquote, harden. So if someone goes to offline you, the health of the walls is considerably higher, and once you log in, that decays back down again after like 10 minutes. I don't know how things like that will be implemented, but those are the sort of changes I look for in Rust. And a lot of people I talk to about the game, a lot of my friends who I started playing with, a lot of people my age, I'm 24 years old, feel like they've been pushed out of the game. They feel like the changes that are made are to adapt it to a younger audience, to get that majority playership, rather than considering their more mature audience who have been there since the beginning of the game and made it what it is today. I'll leave you guys with that last thought, so let me know what you think about the update, and I hope this is good for all of us. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.